Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming to our blockchain panel. This panel is about AI plus blockchain, which we think it's intelligence plus privacy. My name is Chen. I'm the managing partner of G.D.V Capital. We help tech company integrate with blockchain technology to be competitive in their market. And we also invest in blockchain startups. Last year, we started from $2 million private fund, and we have about 20 times return. And this year, we have $60 million under management, and we are focusing on legal and compliance this year. And today, I'm honored to bring our top portfolio company, Archer, and the CEO, Virgil Zhang, to share our knowledge about blockchain and how we can apply blockchain technology in our tech startups and companies. And yeah, Virgil, do you mind to give us a brief introduction about your project and yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Virgil Zhang. I'm the founder and CEO of Archer Software Corporation. So before Archer, I was a technology strategist at Microsoft in New York City. I worked with more than 100 companies across industries, including retail, marketing, fintech, pharmaceutical, etc. Actually, one of the panelists here this morning, Airforms, was one of my portfolio company last year. And before Microsoft, I was a software researcher at Intel Research Lab. I worked on an IoT project and used machine learning to do analytics and things like that. So a little bit about Archer. So Archer is an ad tech pioneer in the offline space. So we achieve precision marketing in the offline advertising for the very first time. And we have more than 35 brand clients, including many well-known global brands. And we were able to help them achieve the sales increase of more than 48% in the last year. So, which is very significant for any brands in the industry.
Yeah, great. So Virgil, since you are the expert in the marketing industry, so what do you think about the problem right now?
Yeah, so if you look at advertising industry, there's one single trend, which is called precision marketing, right? Basically, you want to target individuals with relevant advertisements. You want to target every single consumer with advertisement that they want to see, and with the advertisement to create conversion in the end, right? If you look at Google or Facebook, they collect all the data from consumers, and then they use those data to precisely target every single consumer with the relevant advertisement. And the foundation for the precision marketing is the knowledge about your consumers, right? The more you know about what they like, what they bought, what they saw, the more relevant advertisement you can push to the right individual, right? So the foundation of precision marketing is knowledge about consumers, but currently all the data that we collected from Facebook or Google is the online data. But the online e-commerce market or the online sales market only accounts for less than 10% in the US retail market. So, which means we're missing more than 90% understanding of the consumers, and we have more than 90% room to improve for the precision marketing in the future. And that's a big opportunity for us. Getting data from offline, getting data from the offline behavioral, offline purchasing is a big opportunity for all advertising companies.
Yeah, since you mentioned the whole marketing business, right? Right now, the online marketing is emerging, right? You think the reason why they emerging is because they can do precision marketing, but the offline market we do not have the way to make it precise, right?
Exactly. So I talk about the understanding of the consumers, right? So understanding of consumers online is well developed, but that's only less than 10%. The understanding of consumers offline, in the offline space, is 90%, and that's not existing right now. On the other hand, the offline advertising, right, the digital screens at the airports, at the shopping malls, at the train stations, blah, 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 those screens cannot target, right? It's all the same advertisements, no matter who shows up. So there's a huge waste in the advertising space in the offline, right? So that's exactly what we do to solve these two problems.
Yeah, so we've been talking about the AI. So can you explain a little bit more like how you use AI technology to collect the offline data?
Yeah, sure. So basically, we have two sets of computer vision powered sensors, camera-based technologies. One set of sensors goes into the offline space, so we collect the offline behavioral data, right? So which, like in the stores, which consumer comes into the store, which consumer sees your product, which consumer picks up the product or puts it back, and things like that. So these kind of behavioral data really helps brand to understand the consumers, and we use those offline behavioral data to target individual consumers on the offline advertising end, right? So we have advertising screens in New York City right now. So with our data, we can really target individual consumers with a relevant advertisement, and we create a closed loop. Because let's say Coca-Cola come and place an advertisement on our advertising screen, we use our existing database to help them target individuals who like Coca-Cola, so that we can help them increase the sales for Coca-Cola. And on the other hand, in the retail space, we can use our sensors to measure the conversion for the advertisements. And so far, the conversion has been very well.
So basically, we're saying like you have two sets of camera. One camera is collecting data, the other camera is for measuring the conversion rate. And in these two combining together, you can measure if the AdWords is efficient or not, right?
Exactly, it's a closed loop. So we learn about the consumers, we do precision marketing, and then we measure the success and learn more about consumers and do precision marketing. It's a closed loop.
So yeah, then we are looking for like the blockchain technology. So with your AI technology, can you tell us more like how you apply like the blockchain technology into your whole ecosystem?
Yeah, so if we collect the offline data, right, offline behavioral data from the offline space, that's still offline. Most people actually spend many of their time online, right, on their mobile, on their PC. We've always wanted to connect the offline data with the online data, right? But that doesn't allow, like the privacy law doesn't allow us to do so. So it's like we cannot collect the offline behavioral data with the person's online data. So until like blockchain came up, we can use blockchain as a decentralized database so that to host and store consumers' data. And the consumers will be the only owners to their data, and we can connect the offline behavioral data with the user's online data now through the blockchain technology. And in this way, blockchain helps us create a 360-degree understanding of the consumers, both online and offline.
Basically, you're saying like, not like Facebook and Google's, right now they collect data, they storage data, and they own data. They have the data, they can do whatever they like, but you use blockchain technology, you use the decentralized database to help the users to collect the data, and you give it back the data ownership to the user. In this case, like if they want to monetize it, they can do. But if they do not want to do that, they have the right to like give the permission to you or now, right?
Exactly. We use blockchain to build a platform where consumers store their information on the blockchain, and the brands or the brand clients will reach out to each individual consumers to get their data, and the consumers has the right to determine if they want to monetize their data or not on the blockchain. So we empower every single consumer to do so, where they don't have the power before.
Yeah, so like after you combine the AI and the blockchain, can you describe the world of marketing?
Yeah, so I work at Microsoft. Many clients from retail or from marketing are talking about two things. One is called omni-channel marketing, one is called omni-channel sales or omni-channel retail. So with our AI plus blockchain solution, we build the infrastructure for the offline space to achieve the precision marketing, precision sales, and also we use the blockchain solution to connect the offline with the online. So we will be very confident to announce that we achieve omni-channel marketing and omni-channel sales for every single brand in this industry.
It all sounds like a very fantastic. So can you give us an example like how it really makes change when we see the advertisement in the reality?
Yeah, so it'll be like for every single individual, when you go out and do your go through your routine in your daily life, you will be able to live in a world of brand that you really like. Let's say if you like Gucci, right? When you go to the train station, all the advertisements that you see from the screens are Gucci's advertisements. When you go on the street, all the advertisements on the street will be Gucci, because you're a loyal customer of Gucci and want to create a world of Gucci around you. But when you walk by, the next person might be the loyal customer of Louis Vuitton, and all the advertisements will switch to Louis Vuitton for that single consumer. So for every single consumer, it feels like you live in a world of brands that you really like, but in the end, totally, we minimize the cost for each brand to reach that kind of outcome for their consumers.
Great. So we've been talking about the ecosystem. You've been talking about the example in reality. So where are we right now? Is that still a concept, or do you have a plan that we can follow that?
Yeah. So we finished developing the technology back in 2016, and we filed a patent just on this technology. We now own and operate 11 screens in New York City, and we have more than 35 brand clients, including big brands like Chinese leading pharmaceutical brand Yunnan Baiyao, the global tea beverage leader from Japan, Ito-En, and the world's #1 instant noodle company called Prima Taste from Singapore. So we help those clients achieve an average sales increase of 48.7% in the last year, which is very, very good for any CPG clients. So I would say we're in the stage where we validated the solution, we validated the business model, and now we're trying to scale both in the US and Chinese market. Starting Q4 2018, we'll start scaling. We're looking at thousands of screens of deployments in the field.
So, and that is just the AI, right? AI part, you've been developing for a long time, and then you already got a lot of the loyal clients, right? So, are you signing a lot more contracts with your clients right now?
Yeah. So we've signed more than 60 locations in US already. So I would say when we scale, we really have the partnership and the enough resources to scale.
If the AI part is phase 1, so the phase 2 and phase 3 you have planned.
Right. So once we reach certain scale in the offline advertising space, we'll launch the blockchain solution to connect the offline with the online. And I think that will be early next year or so to really launch the blockchain solution and do this application in the advertising field.
Great. And I think I think this is the future. The data ownership can be get back to user once we using the decentralized database. Probably some of I have heard one example saying what is a decentralized database. Right now, the way we store our data is when we store our suitcase in a bank. We store our suitcase in a bank, but the bank can open up our suitcase and see what's inside. And this is the status of our data right now. In the future, with the blockchain, with the decentralized database, we can still store our suitcase in a bank, but at this time we store it in the safe box in a bank. So the bank can still help us to save our information, but they do not have the access to our information unless we give them the permission. And I think this will be the future for the data storage, and this might change all the giants in the for example Google and Facebook. Right now they own data, and the data actually created by users, right? I think with the blockchain technology, we are seeing a world the user get back to the ownership of the data. And I think some people say some people say it, then they believe it. But some people they believe it, then they say it. And these people are called leaders. And I think Virgil and his project Archer, some project that they say they believe it, and they want to let us say it in the future.
Thank you for saying it.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks for coming.
Thank you all.
Everyone, a big thank you for Virgil and Zhang.